All right, this week, CU Sports Mag, spring is coming around. That means women's lacrosse. We had a chance to check them out this week. Let's see how they did early in the season.
We've also got the club rugby team. That's football without pads. Ouch.
A little painful. I'm a skinny guy, I'd probably get hurt pretty bad. And we're going to take to the hard court, see if the women's basketball team were able to pick up a victory against K-State. All that and more right now on CU Sports Mag. Hello, welcome to CU Sports Mag. I'm Adam McPherson.
Leslie Fox.
Leslie, we have a good show for you on a day we shouldn't be having. Happy
leap year. Leap year.
Day, every 4 years. I don't know. Let's get started. We're going to start with men's basketball. Now, the men's basketball team played host to the Baylor Bears on Wednesday at the Coors Event Center. Now, the Bears have not won in Boulder since 1951. And let's be honest, the way the Buffs have been playing, it seems about that long since they've won at home. Now, let's see which one of these struggling teams was able to come out with a victory. We're going to start off right off the bat here. There we go. Marcus Hall throwing it up, gets a basket early in the first half. He's happy, but Buffs have a lot of work to do. Buffs deep in once again. Marcus Hall dishing it out, going in for the three at the buzzer. Nothing doing. Baylor recovers. Let's hit halftime. They're going to need a break. They've got a long second half ahead of them. Now, here we go once again. Marcus Hall, he was 4 for 14 on layups in this game. Nothing going. We'll try to get another layup here. Nothing doing. This time, however, Baylor is going to take it down to the other end of the court. Don't worry, folks. He did pass it off to another one of his teammates. And yes, that is a three-pointer. Now, Coach Vizdelik, obviously not happy with the way the Buffs are performing. Coach, it's only going to get worse. Baylor looking again, throwing up for the slam dunk. That is the nail in the coffin. Buffs are going to fall to Baylor 57-68. Richard Roby only had 17 points in that game. They've got a lot of work to do. Coach, what are your thoughts on your team's performance?
I said the other day, our back might be broke, but our spirit isn't. I'm really proud of these young men. I mean, they're hustling all the way to the end. They're battling and fighting and scrapping, and we had some open looks. We couldn't make them, but you know what? The sun's going to come up tomorrow, and we're going to go back to work, and we're going to strap it on again on Saturday, and just keep battling. And that's gosh darn it, I'm really proud to be coaching this team.
The Colorado women's basketball team traveled to the Lone Star State last Wednesday to take on the Baylor Bears. Facing the number 8 team, the Buffs played a physical game, sending the Bears to the free throw line 31 times. Fortunately, Baylor went 25 for 31 in free throws, the Buffs only going 5 for 11 offensively. The Buffs couldn't put the ball in the net, shooting a mere 46% from the floor. Colorado fell to Baylor 62-76, marking their third loss to a ranked team this season. The women's basketball team hosted the Kansas State Wildcats last Saturday night at the Coors Event Center. Sophomore Bianca Smith hit one of the biggest three-pointers of her career, while Jackie McFarland led the team with 20 points. Would that be enough to overtake the 15th-ranked Kansas team? Let's see those highlights. Buffs looking good during the warm-up. Yeah. Britney Spears passes to Bianca Smith. Let's see it. Oh, for the three-pointer. I can't believe that was 1 of 5 on the night. Later in the first half, Kansas' Ashley Sweet passes to Kimberly Dietz. Three-pointer, so wish. Don't worry, the Buffs will get it back. Britney Spears to Callie Dell, back to Susie Powers with the three. That won't be the last we see from Susie, going for the layup, but she gets fouled instead by Wildcats' Kerry Kincaid. You know, Coach Patterson not too happy with that call. That's all right, Kansas responds with a long three-pointer by Ashley Sweet. The Buffs will get the ball back to Britney Spears, who, by the way, performs much better on the court than in court. She makes the shot. The Buffs start playing a game of teeter-totter coming up here, but, you know, it's going to end with Britney Spears. She's going to get it here. She's going to go for the three, makes it. Ball will go back to the Buffs. It's going to be a jumbled mess here. Pay attention to this one, but it's going to be McFarland who's going to recover and gets the layup. Don't forget that one. The Twins won't miss a game. Back to action. Kansas is still in it. Shaylin Spani makes the shot. Back to the Buffs side of the court. It's Bianca Smith with a beautiful three. Nothing but net. It's Britney Spears. Next up, she's going to go way over the head. Back to Bianca Smith for another three. That was the 5th one on the night with only a minute left. Does that girl even know how to shoot anything else? Man, the final score was 68-73 Buffaloes. The team's pretty psyched about that win. That's 2 in a row now. McFarland with 20 points there.
They're in the gym all the time, and they can shoot the three. Not contested, sometimes not off of screens. I mean, they're expanding their game from the three-point line as far as different ways to score. But I thought they showed a lot of mental toughness tonight down the stretch. Bianca hit the one from the corner, and Spears hit the one from the wing. I just think maturity set in, and players that have been there have made plays.
It was a lot of fun. I love seeing, the players around me step up and hit those huge shots. It just gets me so excited, and it was a good one for us. I really, really wanted it. That's one thing you cannot say to the players. I was saying before the game is that I really, really wanted this win. So.
All right, now after watching those highlights, this next story should come as no surprise. In last week's game against Kansas State, CU's Britney Spears scored 20 points and pulled down 5 rebounds. She's now averaging 14 points and more than 7 rebounds per game. And guess what? She's only a freshman. Her most recent outstanding performance has earned her the title of this week's CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
I just played good defense, try to play good defense on defense because she's a good player, so it was more of me using all my energy on defense second half. I always feel good to win a game, period. So, yeah. And it feel good to beat K-State because they beat us at their house when I felt we could have won there. So it really felt good. Yeah, it's fun because you get a rush. So it's it's real fun to play that way, especially if you come out on top. So, yeah. I'm Britney Spears, CU Sports Mag Athlete of the Week.
The Buffs football team lost to Mizzou by 45 points in the fall. In January, the basketball team lost to the Tigers by 4 points. This time, the Buffs thought they might be able to win, but their plan didn't work. On Saturday, Colorado lost by 7. The final score, 68-53. Marcus Hall scored a game-high 17 points, and Richard Roby added 14 of his own. However, the team did something they had never done before in school history. They didn't get to the free throw line once. Think about that. It really shows the lack of offensive ability. Of course, the team played a man short because of their third leading scorer, Xavier Silas, was dismissed. CU has lost 19 straight conference road games, including 0-6 record this season.
All right, now when Jeff Bezdelek came to CU last year, he wanted lots of upgrades to the basketball facilities. Now News Team's Phil Milani shows us how the athletic department responded to those requests.
The men's basketball team hasn't played well this year, but things are looking good for the future. It isn't because the team is excited about a new recruit, it's because of new facilities.
We're excited about it, and we're looking forward to a very bright future, and we've just got to continue to bring students, fans, everybody to the arena and get behind this program, and we feel like brighter days are ahead.
The offices are all but done. However, construction on the locker rooms has just begun, and athletic director Mike Bone was given tours.
Come on in, Steve. This area here is going to be our men's basketball locker room. And you can see we used to have walls that separated the different pieces of it. And now we've broke it down so that we'll have an area for coach to be able to talk to the team. Here we break down the film. And then all the locker room part will be back here.
When it comes to basketball, Colorado has the worst facilities in the Big 12 because everything's so old. And the team isn't doing so well either. Now donors are giving lots of money for new facilities, and all they're asking for in return is a competitive team.
So you're looking at about $1 million in the operations center. That includes both the men's and the women's side. You're looking at another $300,000-$400,000 on the locker room. The weight room probably another $125,000, and ultimately in the end the basketball practice facility is a $10 million project.
Now it's time for Jeff Bezdelek and the Buffs to deliver. Phil Milani, News Team Boulder.
All right, now the Buffs have just 3 games left in this season, and the next game is against Iowa State, who leads CU by 2 games. Well, that's not bad. Hopefully they'll be able to deliver.
Yeah, really.
So, all right, we're going to take a quick break, but coming up after the break, we're going to take a look at little women's lacrosse.
And we got rugby coming up.
Rugby, and of course that trivia question.
Someone once said, we all come into this world alone, and we leave the same way. But in between, we have the chance to connect and help each other. To find ways you can do something to connect with the people in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation at 1-800-VOLUNTEER. Volunteer. Get connected.
Weak stuff in here! Yeah! Who's the man? Who's the man?
Exercised lately?
You know trouble can start when the clock hits 3. When there's no place after school for kids to be. Nothing to do but hanging on city streets. When mom and dad are working to make ends meet. Now it's time to beat the street.
With after-school programs, city kids aren't left alone and vulnerable. They keep on learning between 3 and 6, but these programs need your support. Join with the Urban League to keep them going. Call now, because it's
time to beat the street.
This past week, CU athlete Hugh Charles headed to Boston to compete in the U.S. Indoor Track and Field Championship. He was the only collegiate player in the country to attend the meet, holding 5 of the top 10 best long jumps at CU. Upon entering the event, Charles carried the 7th best mark in the field. But guess what? He finished 7th at U.S. Championships as well. It does not stop there. Charles is already preparing for the Big 12 Championship in Nebraska this weekend.
All right, well, the CU rugby team hosted the Cougars of Brigham Young University last weekend. Now, BYU came into the game ranked number 2 in the nation and was expected to continue that undefeated season against the Buffaloes. Now, CU would not be taken lightly, and after a strong start, the Buffs went into halftime leading 22-3. However, the Cougars roared back in the second, clawing their way into a tight game. With just 2 minutes to go, CU's All-American Max kicked the go-ahead drop goal, leading to BYU's first loss since the national championship game last season. Now, following the huge win, Colorado has now moved up to 10th in the national rankings and is looking forward to their next game against New Mexico next weekend.
The women's lacrosse team took on Regis this past Tuesday in Boulder. Starting off in the second half, CU gets the ball and sophomore Amber Lister looks for an open teammate and passes down to junior Gussie Green, who breaks through the defenders and goes in for one of CU's many goals of the night. Lister again goes in for the kill, but is shot down to the ground. Annie Long, one of the team's captains, scores yet again on Regis. Allison Bailey passes to another team captain, Mia McPherson, who searches for an opening, finding the third and final captain of the team, Katie Gargo, who once again passes this time to freshman Jennifer, who drops the ball. Rachel Sorky charges down the field, but the whistle blows and the Buffs come out ahead 18-9.
All right, now we're all familiar with the Buffalo's three-point machine, Bianca Smith. Now, so far this season, she has 69 free throws. That's 5th all-time on the CU single-season list. So, with that comes this trivia question. Who does Bianca Smith have to surpass to set the school record for most three-pointers in a single season? Well, you're just going to have to stick around and find out. I'll be interested to know who that is.
I know, we'll see.
I
have my hunches, but we'll see after the break.
I have no clue. So coming up after the break, we have Double Team. Stick around, we'll be right back.
The National Committee to Prevent Child Abuse.
And it was just...
All right, guys. Anyway, we are going to... That is an interesting trivia question. Who did you think who was going to be?
I don't know, actually. I kind of lied.
Well, okay, so you don't know, but that's all right. Hopefully.
I'm just hoping for the answer.
All right, we'll get the answer coming up. We will be back in a second, though. We're going to turn it over to Double Team, who's going to have a better look at the track and field extravaganzas this weekend. Guys?
Welcome to Double Team. I'm Kate Siegel, and this is Alex Solomon. So, Alex, this weekend, 3 of our players went to the Combine for NFL, which is a pretty big deal.
That's right, Kate. Seniors Tyler Columbus, Terrence Wheatley, and Jordan Dizon were the 3 Buffaloes invited to this year's NFL Combine.
So Terrence Wheatley is a cornerback, and he's a 2-time All Big 12 performer, which is great. He's from Richardson, Texas, but he's kind of a small guy. He's about 5'9", 178 pounds. He's not really big.
Yeah, Terrence Wheatley, or as we like to call him, T-Wheat, does lack a little bit of size, but I believe he makes up for it with his speed. And he showed off that speed at the Combine this past weekend, running a 4.37 in the 40-yard dash.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, and besides his size, I think scouts are a little worried about his durability. He has a history of injuries, including several wrist surgeries. But his on-the-field instincts just can't be denied. He showed that throughout his career with 11 interceptions while at CU.
Wow, and he's a really balanced player on and off the field. He's got great body support while he's running. He knows what he's doing, but also off the field, he's a really supportive teammate. He's a great leader, and he's a great mentor to some of the younger players, which I think the NFL coaches are really looking for.
Yeah, that's something coaches definitely look for in young players. And speaking of leadership, Jordan Dizon led the Buffaloes in tackles this past fall on his way to becoming Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year and a finalist for the Butkus Award.
Now, Jordan Dizon, he's kind of a small guy too. I mean, he's 6 foot, 228 pounds, which really doesn't sound all that small, but for a linebacker, that's not that big. And the NFL coaches are a little worried that he's not going to be able to withstand the pressure of the strength of a professional offensive lineman.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those numbers, he sounds like a big guy, and he is, but at the next level, he is considered undersized. Dizon's kind of an in-between player, not quite fast enough to be a safety, yet not big enough to be your prototypical NFL linebacker.
Right.
But with his toughness and overall skill, he's definitely going to make a team very happy and make an NFL roster.
Absolutely, and they're both really strong players, so I'm sure whichever team gets either of them is going to be extremely lucky. Now, on the other side of it, we had one of their former teammates as well, Hugh Charles, performing this weekend, but he was kind of in a different arena. He was at the USA Indoor Track and Field Championships, which is pretty cool. Not many people know that he is a track and field star, and that was in Boston.
Yeah, most fans probably remember Hugh for his days on the football field, but his standout sport is actually track and field, and more specifically, the long jump.
Yeah, and he's 6th on all-time rushing list for football. But on the other side, once again, he holds 5 of the top 10 longest jumps at CU, which is really pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, wow, those statistics, that just shows what kind of athlete Hugh Charles is. And when he was at Nationals, he placed 7th with a jump of 24 feet, 5 3/4 inches. So that's pretty good, but it only got him 7th in the nation.
Right, and it's not as long as his longest jump that he's ever done, which is around 25 feet. So he didn't do his best, but he still did pretty great. And he was also he was the only athlete representing a college or a university, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, once again, very impressive, and I'm sure Hugh would have liked to have done better than 7th, but Hugh's a competitor, and I'm sure he's solely focused on the Big 12 championships, which are this weekend in Nebraska, and he's got some stiff competition out there because he's actually 3rd in the conference in the long jump right now.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is he's a senior, and the 2 other people that he's up against, number 1 and number 2, number 1 is a freshman, Julian Reed, and he is from Texas A&M, and number 2 is a sophomore, Anthony Flemons from Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And those are his biggest competitors. So that's pretty interesting. I know that I will definitely be watching for Hugh this weekend. I think he'll perform wonderfully.
Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Hugh this weekend. Hopefully he does well.
Absolutely. Well, that's all for Double Team. I'm Kate Siegel, and this is Alex Solomon. And now back to the desk.
All right, thanks, guys. And we apologize. We had a few technical difficulties. I think we've got them squared away.
We got it.
All right.
Coming up after the break, we're going to have Answer the Trivia Question.
Of course.
And a little bit of weather, some skiing.
We'll be right back.
Well, this is the picture we think our neighborhood looks like. A land where there's not a lot of
after-school program that develops children's artistic skills is about to lose its funding. The alternative, a spray can. Whose side are you on? We know dozens of ways you can keep valuable programs like this functioning in your community. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
It's only a little motor oil.
What difference is one drop of paint going to make?
This much fertilizer isn't going to pollute anything.
You're looking at a sea of excuses, created drop by people like you and me. Our waters can be saved if each of us does their part. Drop by drop. If we all do a little, we can do a lot. Brought to you by the Natural Resources Defense Council, the EPA, and the Ad Councils of the U.S. and Japan.
Only you
can prevent forest fires.
And it's true. We know we can count on you to do what Smoky says.
drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Smoky says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
20 kids. For 1 hour a week, you leave your concrete world of flip phones and faxes and talk to 20 kids about how business works. They will question everything. But those 20 kids will talk to 20 more. So by Saturday, what you said on Thursday could be halfway around their world. You get to make a difference. Could just make the rest of your week pretty dull. That's the new JA, teaching kids how business works.
Let's return to this week's trivia question. We'll remind you of the question one more time. Who holds the single-season record for most three-pointers at CU? The answer? Kate Fagan. Fagan scored 79 during the 2003-2004 season. Smith needs just 10 to surpass her.
All right, well, we got the answer now. All right, last weekend, the ski team competed at the Rocky Mountain Intercollegiate Ski Association Championships in Montana, where they finished in first place. Now, this was the 22nd time the team has won this event, and Coach Richard Rocco's ninth. Now, the Buffs finished with 555 points, 28 points ahead of Powerhouse Utah, and just 58 points ahead of the 18-time national champions Denver Pioneers. Now, the Buffs finished first in 3 of 4 events, with Lucy Zakova winning the women's slalom, Kit Richmond winning the men's Nordic and the 20K Classical, and Maria, getting her 9th win of the season in the women's Nordic 15K Classical. Now, Tony Sasloni finished the best in the men's slalom, finishing 8th after his weekend. Colorado qualified 11 skiers for the NCAA championships, which will be held once again in Montana, March 5th through the 8th. All right, now speaking of skiing, we are now joined by our
weather expert here.
Aaron Burgess.
That's a tough reader, all those ski names in there.
I know.
I'll tell you what, but you know what? Great job to the ski team. Sounds like they really
Absolutely.
They did a great job once again.
They did.
Once again.
So, are you guys planning on going skiing this weekend?
Well, if it's anything like last weekend skiing with you, no.
I'm not going this weekend. Aaron led us practically off a cliff in a snowstorm.
They don't like a little excitement in their ski day. But if you guys are planning on going skiing this weekend, I have your forecast for you. Taking a live look outside from the University of Colorado. This is this live shot right out of Folsom Field. Pretty nice day. You can see the sun is shining. We got well above 60 degrees today, which is pretty nice for the last day in February. But we're going to take a look at the national map and see where this weather is actually coming from. You can see there's a high located right here above, in southern Wyoming and northern Colorado. And that's really what's causing a lot of these warm temperatures and these bright sunny days that we've been experiencing for the last week or so. But that, unfortunately, is going to change for the mountains. If you like a lot of snow, there's some good news for you in this forecast. As we move on, this is the current conditions. Taking a closer look into Colorado, that high is going to move its way south and it's going to leave these mountains behind when we get into Sunday. But this is your Saturday morning forecast. Again, that high right over the mountains, it's going to be a sunny day. It's going to be gorgeous up in the mountains. We'll have those temperatures for you in just a second. But again, very nice conditions on Saturday in the mountains. But as we work our way into Sunday, that high is going to move further south, and this cold front is working its way in, and that's going to bring some snow into the mountains from Saturday night into Sunday. We will see around 2 to 4 inches of snow on a lot of mountains across Colorado. The first mountain we're going to look at is Vail. This is their forecast. Saturday, 48 degrees up at Vail in the first day of March. That is unbelievable temperatures. Sunny skies, 29 and a chance of snow on Sunday, but again, 48 degrees. That is looking to be a beautiful day in Vail on Saturday this weekend. Moving on to Keystone, again, 40 degrees, a little cooler than Vail, but still pretty nice and sunny. 32 on Sunday. Again, they're going to be expecting around a 60% chance of snowfall on Sunday. So I guess your best bet would be to go to Saturday. As we work our way closer into Boulder, we will go to Winter Park, again, 40 degrees. 25 is the high on Sunday. 13 and 9, these are the overnight lows. Should be, again, a pretty nice weekend. And finally, if you're not looking to go out of town You want to stay pretty close. Eldora's forecast is 43 degrees on Sunday, again with mostly cloudy skies, or excuse me, mostly clear skies, and then the clouds will start coming in on Sunday. It'll be about 26 degrees as a high then. But really, guys, you can't go wrong with going skiing this weekend, especially Saturday. It's looking to be pretty nice.
Yeah. Not only in the mountains is it supposed to be nice. In Boulder, I think it's supposed to be something 60s, gorgeous.
And then I think
Saturday.
it's dropping to 35 on Sunday.
Yeah, not too happy about that.
That's what happens here in Colorado.
That is, it is. Good deal. Thanks, Sam. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Turn the world on with a smile. Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. Love is all around, no need to waste it. You can have the time, why don't you take it?
The best way out is by coming in. Going to family learning programs helps you and your family lead better lives. Call 1-877-FAMLET-1 because making it after all shouldn't just happen on TV.
Okay, so how this is going to work is when I connect these wires, the electricity is going to cause a chemical reaction to simulate the eruption. Very good.
If you're not helping after-school programs, you're really helping to take them away. After-school programs, wouldn't you rather be helping?
All right, now in the Sunshine State last weekend, the women's golf team improved on their first and second round play to finish 10th overall at the Lady Gator Invitational. Now the team shaved off 13 strokes from the first round to the third. CU's Stephanie Smich took 29th place, 16 strokes over par. Now this was her second best finish of her career. Julie Kim and Lindsay Segner, also improved throughout match play, tying for 38th place. The University of Florida came out on top, winning the tournament by 23 strokes. Now the Buffaloes hope to get more work on the grass as the snow begins to melt around here in Boulder between now and March 4th when they'll travel to sunny San Jose.
As February comes to an end, the Buffs will remain busy, starting with the track and field team competing in the Cornhuskers State for the Big 12 Indoor Championships Friday and Saturday.
All right, the men's basketball team will host Iowa State Cyclones on Saturday at the Coors Event Center, while the women's basketball team will travel to Nebraska on Sunday in hopes of continuing their two-game winning streak.
The women's golf team will have some fun in the sun Monday and Tuesday as they travel to California for the San Jose State Spartan Invitational.
All right, and the men's basketball team will travel to Manhattan, Kansas on Tuesday to face off against the Wildcats. And the women's basketball team will wrap up their week Wednesday in their final home game at the Coors Event Center on, Wednesday against Missouri. So it should be, the fall season's starting to wind down. We're getting ready for a little March Madness.
Yes.
But,
Pretty excited about that, actually.
It should be a good year. Again, skiing team, they're back in action again, I believe, next weekend.
Next week, they're actually in Montana for NCAAs.
All right, so good luck to them. And we got, let's see, what else is going on? Oh, Hugh Charles is part of the Big 12 deal there.
Excited to see how he does,
That's going on
definitely.
this Saturday. That is going to, what do you think about Hugh doing that on track?
I think that's great.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think, he did such a great job. He was so explosive on the thing. At the end of the show, or at the end of his football career, and now
to go into track.
Exactly.
All right.
That's all the time we have. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thanks.
Y'all ready for this?
Drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
We know we can count on you to do what Toby says.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
She is one of America's toughest drug enforcement agents. Last year, she helped convict 90 drug dealers, seized several tons of crack and marijuana, and closed down 10 major drug operations. She is a 68-year-old grandmother named Irma. She set up a community drug watch that is not only changing her neighborhood, but its future. There are many ways to help in your community. Call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.